This is the GIS Evening Report for Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. I am Rakisha St. Louis. In the headlines, Labour Minister to lead delegation to annual May Day celebrations in St. Patrick on Wednesday. We'll have details to this story and more after the break.
I'm a VIP. I'm a VIP. I'm a VIP. I'm a VIP. Make us all VIPs. Take your vaccine, get immunized and protected. Kids, let's build our immunity to have a healthier society. I'm vaccinated, I'm immunized, and I'm protected. Get vaccinated, for we the children's future. Protect this mindset together. Let's all be VIP champions.
A message from the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs, Be a VIP Childhood Vaccination and Immunization Campaign in collaboration with UNICEF and the Pan American Health Organization.
Welcome back. Minister for Labour Honorable Claudette Joseph will lead a delegation to the annual Labour Day celebrations in St. Patrick on Wednesday. Minister Joseph, who will address the rally, will be accompanied by the Labour Commissioner and Deputy Labour Commissioner. The celebrations will attract hundreds of workers represented by the various unions under the umbrella Grenada Trades Union Council. Will be held under the theme Recognizing Labour Contribution to Nation Building over the past 50 years as we move forward with renewed vision and purpose. Workers will converge at the MacDonald College school grounds, from where they will march to the full playing field where the celebrations will be held. During an interview with the GIS on Tuesday, officer in charge of the Western Division, ASP Arlene Lewis, said officers will be deployed early to ensure a smooth execution of the celebrations.
The parade will commence from the MacDonald school ground onto Redhead Street, onto Main Street that is along Sutter's Police Station, onto Lower Main Street, that's at the Sutter's bus terminus, onto La Fortune, and onto the Fond playing field. That is a route for May Day 2024 celebration.
She adds that a traffic plan is in place and must be adhered to by motorists entering St. Patrick for the May Day celebrations.
Vehicles traveling from Grenville will not be allowed to come directly onto Main Street. When I say directly onto Main Street, they will be allowed to make a left turn onto Lamode Public Road. And when I say the junction of Mades, I'm referring to Boss Yard. To be specific in that junction, you make that left turn onto Mades Street, onto Mali, that's at the top of Mali Cemetery. You can enter and drop off persons at the playing field. Then the bus or buses will turn, go back onto the top of Mali, exit at the bottom of Lower Mali, onto Coconut Road, and then park at the bus terminus. Please bear in mind that at the commencement of the rally, no vehicles will be allowed to travel onto Main Street. And I would repeat, would not be able or allowed to travel onto Main Street. Therefore, vehicles traveling from Grenville direction would have to use the route as explained. That's that left turn onto Mades Junction. During the commencement of the march, all vehicles would be traveling at the outskirts of the town. When I say the outskirts of the town, if you are entering from Shantimel direction, and at the bottom of Lower Mali, you will make a right turn onto Lamode Public Road and exit onto Mades Public Road.
No vehicles will be allowed onto the Coconut Road to get to the Sutter's bus terminus. Special arrangements will be made for dignitaries to park at the venue.
This street from the junction of Lower Mali onto Coconut Road, that's the junction of Lower Main Street, will be closed to vehicular traffic during the march. Also, the junction of Main Street and Sutter's Redhead Street, that's at the top of Sutter's, vehicle will be closed to accommodate the march. Parking, vehicles will be allowed to park at the grounds of the MacDonald College, Breakwater, that is well known to all and sundry, I think, throughout Grenada. That's in the area of Main Street on the right towards Calico Supermarket and at the Sotes bus terminus. As it relates to dignitaries and officials, they will be allowed to park in the venue to the side of the pavilion, back of the venue.
Superintendent Esau Pear, officer in charge of the Criminal Investigations Department, urges union members to celebrate in a manner that minimizes incidents during and after the activities.
No question of speeding, no question of consumption of alcohol and other substances, and utilization of vehicles. I want to caution the general public up front. Let us go to the activities and return home safe, and let us avoid other issues of domestic violence and so on during this period. Stay safe and ensure that others are safe. Be your brother's keeper. Look out for one another.
7 unions are expected to participate in the celebrations on May 1st. The Commercial and Industrial Workers Union, Grenada Maritime Manual and Intellectual Workers Union, Grenada Public Workers Union, Grenada Union of Teachers, Seamen and Waterfront Workers Union, and the Grenada Technical and Allied Workers Union, and the Bank and General Workers Union. The march will be led by the Grenada Trades Union Council. The government of Grenada announces a firearms amnesty commencing on May 1st and ending at 12 a.m. on the 30th day of July 2024. The aim of the amnesty is to lessen the potential for the commission of violent crimes and firearms-related incidents by reducing the number of firearms and ammunition circulating illegally in the country. The Firearms Amnesty Act provides an opportunity for individuals to surrender firearms, firearms-related items, and ammunition without fear of prosecution. During the designated period, individuals can turn in these items at designated drop-off locations without fear of being questioned. During the period specified, the firearm or ammunition should be surrendered at any police station, to the officer in charge or the officer on duty, or at the Royal Grenada Police Force Office Headquarters, to an officer designated by the Commissioner of Police for that purpose. An individual will not be required to disclose his or her identity or any information when surrendering a firearm or ammunition, and no details of the person who surrendered the firearm or ammunition shall be recorded. An attorney at law may surrender a firearm or ammunition on behalf of a person seeking a firearms amnesty in accordance with the Act. This is the GIS Evening Report. More news when we return.
I'm a VIP. I'm a VIP.
I am VIP. I am vaccinated. I am immunized. I am protected. Our children and nation depend on vaccination for immunization. Childhood vaccination is national priority. It is their protection from disease and sicknesses. Let's all be VIPs and safeguard our beautiful Grenada. I am DJ Blackstorm and I am a VIP health champion. Be a VIP like me.
Let's all be VIP champions.
A message from the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs, Be a VIP Childhood Vaccination and Immunization Campaign in collaboration with UNICEF and the Pan American Health Organization.
Faced with an increased amount of house and bush fires during this dry season, the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Forestry and Marine Resources, working with the RGPF, has suspended the issuing of licenses for burning with immediate effect. This important move aims to safeguard the well-being of residents and ecosystems and reduce air pollution. Officer in charge of the Fire Department, Sergeant Thaddeus Hamilton, recently cautioned the public about the indiscriminate setting of fires.
We'll be taking a more robust approach to fires, especially bushfires. Those fires will be investigated and persons will be held accountable. So we are encouraging persons to, as far as reasonable possible, if you can avoid setting of fires for this dry season, it will go a long way in the department's safeguarding life, property, and the environment.
Sergeant Hamilton informed of the use of treated water in fighting those fires, which leads to limited water to the homes of the affected communities.
So let's say there is valve regulation in a particular village or a particular district, and there is a major bushfire in that area. There is hydrants within that local. The fire personnel will use the hydrant in that area to suppress the fire, thus reducing the amount of water available for human consumption. Yes? So we're encouraging our citizens to be smart, be aware of the dangers of fires, and conserve water, and also reduce the occurrence of indiscriminately setting fires without the proper authority.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Forestry and Marine Resources encourages residents to explore alternative waste management methods such as composting and recycling to responsibly dispose of organic waste. The National Water and Sewage Authority NWASA is exploring long-term permanent solutions to effectively address the problems faced annually during the dry season. Planning and Development Manager Wim Cox said the company wants to incorporate technology into its scheme of doing business. He explained that in collaboration with GIS and other partners, NWASA will invest in capacity building, computer software, and climate-smart equipment. These investments will put the company in a better position to effectively and equitably distribute water to its customers.
We are constantly doing that here in NWASA, mentioning under the GIS project and under all of the DM project, capacity building for NWASA, for Grenada, is always something that we highlight. In the coming days, we have a couple of our engineers would be traveling to Germany just to see what's happening there. We are always on top of the technology, and again, we haven't gotten into all of the details and the nuts and bolts of what is happening, but as it stands now, we are looking at interventions and more interventions to come. We're looking at a number of interventions, but again, these interventions are so expensive. Yeah, we are looking at one of the interventions, one of the areas that we believe that we have quite a bit of NRW is in our meters. Yeah, the meters that we use now, they're analog meters. They still use cogs and stuff spinning around. Whenever any little particle gets in them, they block, and persons receive water, then they're not charged. All of that goes into our NRW. Yeah, the last numbers that we look at for the introduction of ultrasonic meters for smart meters range in the vicinity of 20 million USD. Yeah, it's not something that we could just pick up and say that we could do tomorrow. So hence, we've done a lot internally. The GIS project is looking at the introduction of an IT asset management that would help us with our internal processes, so our response time to leaks, and so as somebody mentioned a while ago, would be a lot less, would be a lot better. The introduction of GIS monitoring, all of our assets now is on. We're getting them on a map of Grenada, so when somebody say that we have a leak in area X or area Y, we could pull up and see exactly what is there. So a lot is happening internally from an innovative standpoint.
Improvements will also be made to the non-revenue water management system. This is water that NWASA expends large sums to collect, treat and distribute, but does not collect the revenue. Acting General Manager Terrence Smith spoke about the possible benefits.
We're going to be having an exercise shortly, maybe as early as next week, to be able to accurately, and using a software, a program provided through the project, we're going to sit as a team and we're going to compute our non-revenue water for mainland Grenada. And that is going to assist us, and we'll do it maybe every 6 months or every year thereafter. That is going to assist us to more efficiently manage the water supply systems.
We'll take our final break. When we come back, Carriacou Marine and String Band Music Festival organizers satisfied with the support.
Stomp out careless or intentional bushfires, dead out. Youths, hunters, smokers, let's prevent bushfires. Here's why.
Yeah. Bushfires, the shorelines wet, crops should be. Bushfires, can lead to food scarcity, threatened biodiversity, cause water shortage, water calamity. Bushfires in watersheds deplete water quality, threaten property, life and security. Bushfires set intentionally, water insanity.
Bushfires can cost millions in losses annually and are often caused by careless or intentional actions indictable under the law. Forests are life-giving. Save them. A message from the Fire Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force and the Caribbean Open Trade Support.
Welcome back. Tourism officials say the efforts of Carriacou and PT Martinique to preserve traditions will yield positive results for further cultural and economic development. 3 days of activities involving the cooking of traditional food and music and wear display have just concluded in the island's Maroon and String Band Festival under the theme "Coming Together to Preserve and Showcase Our Culture is Who We Are." Tourism and Culture Minister Senator the Honorable Adrian Thomas is satisfied with the growth in participation and commits government's continued support. He said if Carriacou continues to preserve its history and tradition the way it does, it has a bright future.
Carriacou has a culture that must be envied by the rest of the world. We cannot afford to let it just go just like that. I think it is no longer a village thing in Carriacou. It is now a culture that must be exhibited to the entire region in the Caribbean, to the world. And we have to come to the realization that we are no longer exhibiting this culture for the villages in Carriacou, but we are exhibiting it for Europe, for North America, and the entire world. What happened this year, I'm very thrilled. The food that is being offered, the saraka, the culture, the people coming from Union Island, the people coming from Grenada, Tivoli drummers demonstrating our ancestors' customs. I mean, in such a way, I think this is the right platform to really demonstrate the culture of Carriacou. And I think we must commend Carriacou for holding on to a lot of aspects of the African culture.
Product Development Manager Curl Hoshtialik told the GIS Carriacou's traditional displays are not only for Grenadians, but being a destination of choice for many international visitors, it becomes a globally marketed festival.
You need to see it evolving, and this is exactly why we continue to support. You've seen, if you guys were in the Strings in the City yesterday, you've seen how it's evolved from last year with the stick fighting and the dancing of the cake, and yet yesterday they would have had the clash of the bands, right? Yeah. We've seen even the flambeau parade on the Monday grow, 100 lamps. All of those things are really important. But I think the most significant part of what happens with part of the tourism product is the fact that we, as Grenadians, and understand the significance of Carriacou and Carriacou's culture, that we make sure that we continue to support it.
The weekend of activities included the libation, saraka, flambeau march, strings in the city, and other cultural music, drumming, and dance performances. Here are some highlights and some reactions.
Guidance and protection. We just doing it. You show us the way, and we continue. Amen.
Brave
I
girl.
come to bury Caesar,
Brave girl.
but not to praise him.
Brave girl.
The evil that men do shall live after them.
Brave girl.
The good have entered with their bones, so
Brave
let
girl.
it be with Caesar. Do not Brutus has told you Caesar was ambitious. If it was
Brave
so,
girl.
it was a grievous fault, and grievously Caesar had answered it.
Brave girl.
It's paradise here, and so warm, so hot, and everybody's so nice. So thank you for welcoming us. It's a pleasure. We were supposed to leave 2 days ago, but everybody told us that today was the festival, so we stayed just for that, and it's so nice here. It's a very, very good time.
It's my first time to Maroon Fest. First time ever. And since I was a little girl, I've heard about Maroon Fest, and I've always wanted to have the experience. We arrived here on Friday morning. We went to the show on Friday evening. It was somewhat disappointing, but nonetheless, we had a good time.
It's my first Maroon Festival. I had to make it this year. You know, I came up for Carnival, I went back in Grenada, and I said, well, this Maroon Festival, I had to make sure I make it and really to get the experience of what it is they do in Carriacou here with the Maroon Festival. So I've been through all 3 times, for Friday, Saturday, and today, Sunday. Energizing, you know, beautiful spirit, beautiful people. You know, as I say, I'm just enjoying the vibes. So I had to make sure I come out here and really enjoy, just the same way as other people had to come out here for the first time. So it's really emotionally experienced, you know. It's a healing, is a love, unconditional.
I live in New York, so I'm familiar with the process of doing the parents. So when there's a death and we have to set up the table for like a 9-night or a 40-night, I will participate and help out preparing the thing. It's done by not too many people, like 2 or 3 persons will do it, because you don't want to be crowded, because certain things are not added to the food, that you have to stay away from garlic, stay away from cloves and all of that. So you have to know what you're doing when you. So I do it in New York, so I'm a bit familiar with the process. I enjoy doing it. It's something that I take seriously because it's passed on by our ancestors. And like the kids there, we just know it's a good thing for us to carry on, to keep the legacy and the tradition going. So I really take this very seriously when I do this.
Finally, Minister for Education, Senator the Honorable David Andrew, met with the teachers in charge of 2 preschools in St. George's last week, who presented their cases for bigger buildings and play areas for the children. Senator Andrew, accompanied by a team from the Ministry of Education, toured Parkview Preschool and St. John's Street Preschool to assess the situation. Serena Mitchell has more.
Teacher in charge at the St. John Street Preschool, Anthea Mitchell Bubb, passionately shared her wish for a new site for her school on Wednesday when Minister for Education, Senator the Honorable David Andrew, visited the school. The preschool, which currently accommodates 23 children, serves parents from most of the parishes who work in the St. George's Town area.
We have been in this building since the year 2018. All right, since the former building that we had started cracking up and there were some issues in the building, we had to be relocated, and the quickest place that we could have found was next door to the school, that we can still remain within the town area so that it be easy access for parents.
Parkview Preschool has 78 children and serves Cherry Hill, Darbo, Mount Rush, and the surrounding areas. Teacher in charge, Gail Blackett, wants a totally new building.
The thing about it is that we were clamoring for a new school, so like to change the school from board to wall. So him visiting would kind of stimulate or maybe cause the process to be speedy.
Senator Andrews says the concerns by the schools are genuine, and he commended the work of the teachers in making use of the limited space in which they currently operate.
In this budget cycle, the chances are a little slimmer in a total sense. There may be some things we may be able to do, but we did have the unfortunate incident that in this case, the St. John's Preschool was supposed to be a BNTF project, which has been put on hold and promised to be rolled over into the next period of consideration. So that's a little setback for this school. In terms of, while there is a suggestion though that the ministry could adopt the project, that was not budgeted for, and it's something that we would have to discuss more clinically to determine whether or not it could happen, and then there are often unseen costs with those things that we need to carefully analyze. In the case of St. John's, Parkview, there are several proposals, whether we consider rebuilding in a concrete structure at the same location, or if it's safe. What are the considerations for the flooding issue that formerly plagued the area? So all of these are environmental considerations, but we will be guided by the professionals, the engineers who are on site as well.
Senator Andrew notes that the team from the Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the Ministry of Infrastructure, is in the process of reviewing the conditions, and the most critical interventions will be made as soon as possible. Sarana Mitchell reporting.
Thank you, Sarana. That story just ended the GIS Evening Report for today. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rikisha St. Louis.